The more people you help get what they want, you'll get what
Mhm.
you want. How I had to take what I learned from the military about
Mhm.
making allies and leadership,
Mhm.
apply to civilian. Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Conscious Leader Podcast. I'm your host, Elise Abraham from Faith and Sparkles World. I am a leader, and it's always intriguing to me to meet and learn from other conscious leaders in industry who are impacting, transforming, inspiring, and empowering others. Today, I have my guest. She's also a friend, Yuliana Gunawan. We met actually on Twitter, on X, and that is how we built our relationship and we got to learn more about each other. I'll introduce you to her so she can explain who she is, who she serves, what she does. But you will be impressed and amazed by this incredible woman who has survived through so much and just has mastered the art of conscious leadership. So, welcome, Juliana. How are you today?
Thank you so much. Thank you for the introductions. Yes.
So, can you share with everyone who you are, who you serve, and how are you impacting lives?
Right. My background is I work in the construction industry for over 20 years. And in construction industry, especially in Australia, uh, the women in the majority of the populations, we are only represents 12% of the populations in the construction industry. So I was thinking I have a mission to empower women, particularly women of color in construction industry, so their works will be recognized because not many representative of us in like in the industry. Yes, and I also would like to increase the awareness of mental health because mental health is basically is a issue in the construction industry in Australia, whereby the suicide rate is the second highest suicide rate. I think that is the two particular issue that I need to empower to increase the awareness, whereby we can work productively, but also we look after our mental health.
Yes. And that is lovely. And I mean this, I know when we use lovely, we think, oh, cute. But when I say lovely, it is lovely because you are in a heavily masculine industry, construction. You are doing a survey quantity, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, correct. Quantity
Yeah,
surveyor.
yeah,
I
quantity surveyor. And I'm sure that you are one of few, very few women in that particular role because it's generally for men to be in that surveying. Because when you're doing surveillance, it's you have to understand the lots of math involved. You have to understand the earth. You have to understand all of these things before you start breaking ground, especially if you're building up homes and such. And so, generally, that's not a field that many women go into. So, good on you. Kudos to you. And thank you so very much. And on top of that, you've recognized not only as a woman uh, and a woman of color as well, the need to support mental health and to support women on this journey so they can feel encouraged, they could be empowered. Like, why? Why take on this monumental task? Why?
think because as a woman we are very much multitask. Like on one hand, we concentrate as a professional to work in the office professionally, but on the other hand, as a mother, we also the majority of our responsibility as a mother rely on the woman. and we have to be multitask, especially during the busy periods whereby the child's sick, no matter how hard it is. Like I still remember when my son was a toddler. During that period, when my son was like 80 months, during that period, he was very sick easily. Then I think for almost a year, I only slept like 4 hours a day. And then after that, I go back to the office every morning as usual, pretend that, I'm okay, nothing happened, But then the reality, it was not like fancy like that. That's why in my leadership, I wanted to empower the women and also my colleagues. So my leadership style is like empathetic leader, because I do understand that it's hard to balance up our personal life and our working life. So by being an empathetic leader, we can understand each other, and the most importantly, we build trust among each other. We work together, we help one another, we support one another. As long as we build up the relationship, we build up trust, and then gradually we become a strong team bonding. Then it gradually increase productivity, increase communications, reduce the conflict of the conflict. And then I think it will be beneficial for our mental health too, because like we working together basically 8 hours a day. So if we are working in harmony with each other and supporting one another, we don't feel like the hour is so long. We feel the hour will be short.
Oh, you're right. And I know what that's like to work with people for many hours, sometimes longer than 8 hours. I've worked with people for 24 hours, for weeks and months. And it's a whole other dynamic when you are surrounded by people, strangers who you get to know. And sometimes there are days you like them, and then there are days you're like, why? So yes, I understand where you're coming from in terms of the empathetic leadership style. I want the audience to know that, yes, you are beyond qualified, not only for the work that you're doing in the construction industry, but also in your leadership role. You have a vast amount of experience mentoring others for, almost 2 decades, really, on and off. And then when you decided, yes, I want to take that next step in coaching, in leadership, in mentorship, you invested in yourself so then you can properly nurture others by taking the course and the programming with John C. Maxwell, right? Under his programs. And I love John C. Maxwell. Some of my first books were from him, and some of my training is from him. So, 100% I understand that. Aside from the empathetic leadership, some people might say that style of leadership is weak, because now you're getting more into feelings. And when the job needs to get done, we don't necessarily need to be in our feelings. Some may say that. What is your response to that?
I don't think the empathetic leadership is weak. I think it is strong. Strong, it doesn't mean we have to be loud. Strong, it means that we just need to be effective. Effective is the important things and the progress or the goal that I focus, instead of being like loud or being so powerful. As a leader, like John C. Maxwell keep on telling us, we have to be humble as a leader. We have to lead by example. We have to be role model. We have to apply the servanthood leader. In other words, right? We, as a leader, become a role model. We teach our colleague, my cadets and the graduates, everything what we need to be what we need to do. I also teach about the integrity, the honesty, the accountability, the responsibility. But in the meantime, I didn't just say it, I do it. So once I do it, and they will follow me. And also the trust itself. When somebody couldn't finish the job, and I help them and I teach them. And for example, one of my cadets, if they have an exam, they cannot concentrate, and then they cannot finish the job, I also guide them and help them. As a result, then they become close to us, and then at the time that I need help, they are ready to help. That is the like some sort of like a friendship, teamwork, a relationship teamwork.
Allyship.
So
Yes.
yeah, so I don't think this is weak. I think is as long as the relationship building by trust, and then respect one another, that will be a solid ground of the relationship. Yes, this is how I feel.
And you touched on something very powerful, allyship. Right? Allyship is powerful. If you are tuning in and you like what you're hearing right now on this podcast, hit that subscribe button, click that notification button so you can get up-to-date videos and lessons from conscious leaders. So, Yuliana, as I mentioned, you spoke on, you touched on allyship, which is very important. And I share this a lot with clients that I work with, or even when I'm online, I'm doing a webinar or any talks. I really highlight the value, especially for women, to make allies in their industry. We live in a time where everyone has networks, and it's good to have a network, right? This is where our friends are. But in our work environment, you could be working in corporate, wherever you're working, you need to have that allyship with men and women. They don't necessarily have to be your friend, but you want them to be an ally. And when you mentioned this, I thought back to your hero that you mentioned to me, Martin Luther King. All the things that he has done, he had allies, he had supporters. Yes, the people were with him, but he also had to have allies with other people of different faiths as well, everyone supporting one mission, one goal together. Can you share a bit more about the allyship and how you grew that area within yourself and like you discovered it, as well as sharing how that positively and or negatively influence your team, who are predominantly male?
I think for the allyship is very important for me, especially for sharing the knowledge, because for two people, the way we think differently. And also in terms of the communication, especially in the industry whereby they still believe that male is perform better than woman. So my ally, the male co-worker, they can speak on behalf of me, for example, in resolve situations or in helping me with certain things. So and this is not only from my view, and this view is also shared with another woman from the construction industry, whereby I attend one of the mentoring seminar with them, like a very fast mentoring. And in that event, every woman over there also admitted that the ally with the male coworker is very important, and also the networking also can boost their performance to be recognized too. This is what they said. Yes, so I think it's very important. Even my hero, Martin Luther King, he also have ally with John F. Kennedy, which is very different background. Like John F. Kennedy is white and like represent black. So so the power of John F. Kennedy, which is totally different races with Martin Luther King, is bring more impact and powerful in terms of to broadcast the message. This is how I feel.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you're very correct in terms of allyship and the impact that you will have. You will definitely reach a wider audience, and it starts really with where you are. I remember when I retired from the military and I started working civilians. And I was there, and at the time, it was just like, okay, I'm there to do a job. I'm here to get this, have a job. As I build myself to, where specifically I want to be in the next steps in my career. And part of being in a military mindset, in this militant mindset, is like you're in, you do your job, you want to go home, and that's it. And of course, you make allies when you're there, but now I'm in civilian. This is a whole other mindset, a whole other ball game, which was challenging. And so people didn't relate to how I thought. For them, they would come in and sometimes it'd be like, I have a headache, I'm not well. I didn't have children at the time, so my daughter or my son is sick. I couldn't understand this concept because no, like you're in, do your work. It's only 8 hours. It's like 7.5 hours. Just do it and go. Because I left a male dominated space. And at the time, as I mentioned earlier, sometimes you're spending months, 24 hours a day with people. And I was in the Navy, I was Army and Navy, but especially when you're on a ship, you're essentially in a tin can, right? Like for months at a time. It's like, it's tough. It's hard. You have to cultivate a specific, like a certain mindset to be able to get through. You need to, because there's nowhere to run and hide, right? Anyways. In saying that really shifted. I had to take take what I learned from the military about making allies and leadership, apply to civilian, and tweak it so I could understand how they think, their psychology, what is going on in their mind. Because I was doing leadership and I was teaching leadership and I took courses, but I was doing it from a very different perspective. Yes. You mentioned mental health being important, and I am 100% on board with mental health being important. And so I recognize that we all put ourselves, we all tell ourselves a particular story to get through whatever situation or situations that we're in or circumstances that we're in. In saying that, how do you support people, women, men, whoever's on your team or those who you mentor when it comes to this, their mind, the psychology of the mind, and to improve their mental health?
I think first thing first, I will tell them if they have difficulty, do not keep it for themselves. Tell other people. Tell your mentor. Your mentor will understand how to solve the problem because they've been working in the industry for so long. And then if the personal issue and they couldn't finish the job, like for example, sick or exam, yes, just tell honestly so we can understand, because we are all human. We all have sometimes the life is up and downs. So this is the way I operate the team bonding. I do not want to judge people because judging people I don't think it's a good idea. Like being creative also, and being I do not want to use powers like I'm like senior than you, and you have to do what I say, or you have to complete no matter what. No, I don't think that is beneficial, especially I started learning the leadership style based on the John C. Maxwell book, that the most important as a leader, we need to add value to others people. If we show them how to add value to other people, and another people, especially our mentee, will also learn how to add value eventually back to us. So this is like very helpful and beneficial in terms of to achieve the productivity and the efficiency.
Yeah,
Yes.
100%. And Zig Ziglar, says this a lot. I know he's predominantly quoted with this quote saying, "The more people you help get what they want, you'll get what you want." Right? Similar to what you mentioned with John C. Maxwell and what he normally says. Like that's kind of like his catchphrase. And I agree with you. Right? It's the when we treat others with kindness, when we treat others with respect, first and foremost, respect. They in turn will always treat us back with respect, right? And so this is how we get the job done. This is how it gets, we can see the results from the work that the work that we're doing. Have you had pushback, and how have you dealt with it? Pushback in your leadership style. Yeah. Have you had pushback in your leadership style using this empathetic approach? And how have you dealt with it? Because there's always one that is kind of like this, like, we're here to do the job. Why are we doing like this? Is not the way. We have to do it this way. There's always one. So have you experienced that? And how did you navigate that situation?
I think I just go with the flow. If somebody, which is their character, very autocratic and very directive, I think I personally will not take it personally. I just go with the flow. I just do professionally, but I will not criticize their style. But to me, the most important thing is I value myself, and I've recognized that my style is different with them. And I remember the story when I was in Singapore. There was an office boy, and then his duty was to make coffee for the project manager, basically the top level. At the time, I was junior, very junior, my first year working in the construction industry. I just smile at him every day, say greeting, hey, how are you? Nothing special, just smiling and say greeting and chit chat. Guess what? After about 2 months, he made me coffee. Very special, every day, without fail. That is adding value. That is he contributed his work extra. So for me, if I bring kindness with respect and trust people and never judging and trying to have sympathy towards them, they will give the works with extra. This is how I feel.
And I agree 100%. And that's a lovely, lovely example, right? All you did was show up, treated him with respect. You just had a nice smile. How are you today? How was your family? How was your weekend? Right? Simple conversation. You weren't doing it to get anywhere or to do anything because you're junior. He's junior, probably more junior than you. And he's making the coffee. But he knew that this is like he understood this was what he had to do to get wherever he needs to be. I don't know where he is in the company now. And through you showing him the respect and encouraging him with kindness, with support, right? And it helped him, in my opinion, because I've seen this in my own leadership journey. You encouraged him and you supported him by helping him realize what he is doing is significant. He is not only making coffee, he is providing value, right? He's getting
Yes.
coffee, probably getting water as well. We're just using the word coffee, but maybe it's water, whatever it is. He's providing substance in one particular way, which is providing the coffee. And he may not, in that moment, felt that it was important, quote unquote, but you showed him through respect that what he is doing is providing value. And so in turn, now he's showing you, he's like, you know what, thank you. He started giving you coffee. So thank you for bringing me, like, he's like, thank you for helping me. Right now, I feel very confident because he did something like this, not just with you, but just in general. Right. And he probably took his work seriously. He was out of that position quickly. Yes, no, maybe. Yeah, he was out of that position quickly, and then he moved up. And he probably rose through the ranks very quickly because he was sharp. He didn't take things personal. He appreciated his work wherever he was. And he treated people with respect. Everyone, wherever they are, with respect and with value. That's how I ended up, like I was working in a corporate job. And I would just talk with everyone. At the time, I was working at a contract position. And I really liked the job and I wanted to remain with the company. I ended up remaining with the company. But at first, I was working contract while the person was on leave for about 3-4 months. And at the end of closer to my end date, about 2 weeks after my end date, the mailman that delivers mail every day, I said hi to him every day. I didn't even know who his wife was. She actually worked with like the CEOs and stuff like that. But because I would say, hi, how you doing? And we just engage very quickly. Nothing because I'm busy working, he's busy working. And you talk to other people on the floor. He told me that there was an opening that wasn't even listed yet. There was like an opening that's coming up in like 4 weeks.
Wow.
You should go and talk to the girl that's leaving the position because she's going to a different office. You could, because of that, as you said, like level of respect and then of course allyship, right? So he did that. And I'm like, what floor is she on? He gave me the floor, the person's name, their position. And I ended up, isn't that something? So
that's a great story.
Yeah, true story, something that happens, right?
Oh my God.
And it's all because of that level of respect, that level of trust, and just being empathetic with people, right? I wasn't in a leadership position per se. I was working for the leaders, like they were CEOs. I was working for the senior exec team as an executive assistant, but just treating everyone with that value and respect. Then all of a sudden, and on top of that, I needed references, right? So
Yes.
I just left the military. I just left one position when I first came in. The job wasn't on par with where I was in the corporate world, but I had 3 people from different departments who were there for about 20, 30 years that wrote me incredible references as well. So it was like, so that's the value. Like I share this story because I want people to recognize. Same way you shared about the young man with the coffee, and he started bringing you coffee, and you saw him quickly rose through the ranks. I understand when people treat you with respect. Like when you treat people with respect, people treat you back with respect. When you are kind to others, they're kind to you, and guess what? They will help you open doors. Like the allyship, they open up their network. They open up the things they know. Right?
I'm pretty much impressed with your story. Unbelievable. I never thought, right, somebody can share, oh, there's an opening here. Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing me this story.
I'm telling you, and this is to encourage you as well. This is to encourage you also, and anyone else listening. Don't take your leadership, and your level of respect and your allyship with others for granted, because you don't know who is there to help you. You're not being allies with them or friends with them or anything you're not wanting anything. It's not to get anything. It's just you need allies in your workspace. Yuliana, you understand this better than anyone, especially with the job that you have been doing for 2 decades. So, anyway, that was my little tidbit in how successful it can be. And this also improved my mental health on the job, because there are times I was thinking, I don't know if they will keep me on. Is there any positions? I was actually going online to see if there was any openings. There was no openings, no positions, but there was an ally, the mailman, who is moving around, hearing everything. And he just said, hey, this is happening. And that was it. That was my opportunity.
Yeah, it's true. Like in Singapore, particularly, when I was working on site in the project site, right? Every lunch hour, we eat together. Like the whole team eat together, and we were laughing and chit-chatting and making a joke. And after that, we can work productively because we were happy.
Yes.
Nothing can be great than happiness. Then once we are happy, then we can work so very well.
I agree 100%. When people are happy, the productivity goes up 100%. I read this book, The Art of War, for managers, and in one of the chapters. So, anyways, this is for my book club where I unpack leadership literature. But in that book, in one of the chapters, it talks about how a company, they did a beta testing, or they did the testing to see if they give people extraordinary attention, how would they respond? And they found that with the small group that got that extraordinary attention, so you mentioned just everyone eating together, laughing together, getting to know each other, right? This big social event, they just gave them extraordinary attention, not necessarily saying you guys are better than anyone else, just ensuring, are you okay? How is your family? How is life? How is work? Productivity tripled. The result, bottom line, finance, it went up. And the people did not get any promotion. They did not get a better desk or a better view or anything. The happiness factor, just because they were getting this extraordinary opportunity, made them work and more. They gave their all every single day. So
I agree with you. There will be less mistakes. I agree with you totally.
Yes, because people are happy. All right, so we're going to be closing up now. We've passed our 30-minute mark, but that's okay. What are your thoughts for anyone who's listening and they're thinking about being a leader? Maybe they're in a leadership position. So share with the audience and myself, what is your definition of how we can become conscious leaders?
To be conscious leaders, first thing is being empathy, and have empathy towards one another. Respect is the most important. Trust too, honesty and integrity. Also, adding value to other people without expect anything back in return. Eventually, like you said, the kindness will be returned to you.
Yes, 100%. I like that. That's really nice, because it's, you're just talking about that value, right? The value that people feel for themselves and they want to share with others. So thank you very much. How can someone reach out to you? Maybe they want to work with you. Perhaps they just want to support you on your channels. How can we get in contact with you?
In the meantime, you can log into the LinkedIn and go to my profile. Yuliana Gunawan, and underneath the profile you can click the subtext and shoot or DM me through LinkedIn.
Awesome. Fantastic. Thank you, Yuliana, for joining us today. If you guys enjoyed this session with Yuliana, don't forget to ask questions in the comments below. She will happily respond to any questions you have. Follow Yuliana on LinkedIn and as well as Medium. She writes incredible articles. I think it's like twice weekly. She writes these articles that's talking about mental health, that's sharing her insights in the construction industry and how you can be enriched and empowered and use empathetic leadership to grow, not only for yourself, but also others. So follow her along. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to this channel. And I hope that you have a great day. I look forward to seeing you on the next Conscious Leader podcast. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, Delisa.